For the economy of any state to thrive, there are certain enablers that government must put in place in order to woo investors and create an enabling environment that would, on the long run, bring about total economic transformation and prosperity of the citizenry. This economic transformation, however, cannot be achieved except there is a synergy between the organized private sector and the government. It is in lieu of this that the Ogun State government, under the leadership of Prince Dapo Abiodun, through Ogun Invest and Facilitation Agency, organized a breakfast meeting with chief executive officers of industries, firms and companies domiciled in the state at Metros Hall, GRA Ibara, Abeokuta, to fashion out ways of assisting them, as well as look into their expansion plans, thereby creating an enabling and conducive environment for their business to thrive. The governor of Ogun State and the chief host, Prince Dapo Abiodun, while speaking at the meeting, says the vision of the present administration is to provide a business environment that will translate into economic prosperity of the people.
When I assumed office on the 29th of May 2019, recognizing the comparative and competitive advantage that we have as a state, which particularly is our geographical location, being the closest state to the state of Lagos, being the gateway to Nigeria's prosperity as we call ourselves. We are that state that you cannot drive from the number one economy in Nigeria, the financial capital of Nigeria, to the rest of the country. You cannot travel either by land, by sea, or by air without going through Ogun State. In recognition of this advantage of ours, we decided that our vision must reflect this position that we occupy. I would say that our vision must be to provide a focused and qualitative governance, whilst creating an enabling environment for public-private sector partnership that we believe is very fundamental to the economic growth of the state and the individual prosperity of our people. So you can see our emphasis is on providing an enabling environment for us and you to collaborate, to cooperate, because we believe that it is only by doing that effectively that we can transform the economy of this state and bring individual prosperity to our people.
Abiodun explained that certain enablers for economic transformation have been put in place by the government.
We decided that we must have some verticals that allow us to begin to implement this vision. Those verticals we call our enablers. So we said these enablers will encapsulate under the share acronym. I for infrastructure, S for social welfare and welfare, E for education, Y for youth empowerment and job creation, and A for agriculture. But when we look at the one that is I, it's not just I because it's the first one, it's because it is probably the most important of all the enablers. It's all about infrastructure, infrastructure, infrastructure. And we said to ourselves, the first of such infrastructure has to be security infrastructure. No matter what else we put in place, if there's no peace and security in the state, even if we build super highways between our cities and towns and adjacent states, nobody will come and establish here in the absence of peace and security. So we decided to establish a security trust fund. Between us and the private sector, we put together quite an amount of money, and we began to support our law enforcement architecture with the required logistics. And I'm happy to say that having implemented some of these initiatives, Ogun State today is now being ranked as one of the safest, if not the safest state in the country. And having done that, we now began to think of what other infrastructure would be an enabler to this public-private investment. We decided that the first thing we must do was to create a ministry of transportation, because we consider transportation infrastructure a very key enabler. Today, I'm happy to announce that for the last 1.5 years, we have constructed over 500 kilometers of critical roads in Ogun State.
The governor assured the manufacturers that his administration is working tirelessly to ensure that problems faced by them are addressed by adequate collaboration with the private sector, urging them to exercise patience.
I want to assure you that you are the reason why we are in office. It is important for us to continue to interrogate the issues, that have been problems for you in the past. As a responsive administration, we will continue to do everything to work collaboratively with you. We, as a priority for our second term, we're focusing on generation of power. We have what we call the Ogun State Light Up Power Project. And that ambitious power project seeks to ensure that in Ogun State we have 24 hours uninterrupted power supply. And I want to assure you, as your promise-keeping governor, that will happen before I leave office in 2027.
Governor Abiodun encouraged them to be up and doing in corporate social responsibility, CSR, as a way of giving back to the community where they operate.
I want to plead with you that as we do all this, we also expect, so much from you as well in terms of corporate social responsibility. When you give back to the community where you are doing business, the community takes ownership of your business. They protect your business. They support you.
Earlier, Commissioner for Trade and Investment, Mr. Adebola Shofela, while welcoming the guests, says the meeting is a way of synergizing with the private sector, adding that the government would not relent at sustaining policies that will bring about total economic transformation and prosperity.
Today's convergence provides a unique platform to meet with His Excellency and have a robust discussion between the business executives and government, thus reinforcing our strategic partnership and collaboration in the socio-economic development of their state, as well as their prosperity for us stakeholders. This occasion is particularly auspicious because, as the new Commissioner for Industry, Trade and Investment, I'm meeting unarguably my most important constraints for the first time, and also acknowledging their role as critical stakeholders in Ogun State industrialization under the able leadership of Excellency Prince Dapo Abiodun cannot be underestimated. I therefore want to assure you that the state government will continue to partner with you so we can prepare our common interests with our eyes. Allow me to underscore that the operating environment of industrial organization and prospective investors is a top priority for this government. The current administration being business environment friendly, the government has made significant investments in infrastructural development, roads, transportation, power, etc. Further, urban renewal and transformation of government business and processes to upscale the ease of doing business in the state is also ongoing. In this regard, my ministry assures you that the stakeholders meeting with members of the Manufacturers Association, the organized private sector, and related ministries, departments, and agencies of government will be reviewed and reinvigorated. This will enable us to address some of the issues confronting businesses in Ogun State time and manner.
One after the other, the chief executive officers in their goodwill messages shared their experiences, expectations, and expansion plans to the governor.
We commend the administration of the state for being responsive to government that's continually trying to ensure that the climate in the state is conducive for a government that listens to its investors and is always willing to work with the business community in the state to facilitate mutual prosperity for all. We would like to request for the attention and intervention of some salient matters. Many members desire to grow their enterprise and expand the scope of their production, but are constrained by several factors. Please allow me to present some facts and figures in support of these assertions. Now, I'm going to deal from whatever, because I've had the opportunity to speak to quite a few of the members here. And where I fight for is what we're seeing here. Now, Ogun State is the capital of industry. What is the capital of Nigeria's domestic direct investment? We need to change the focus from foreign direct investment to enabling domestic direct investment. The focus of the government now should be enabling this investment. And I'm going to give you some examples. Sitting here, I think by the time we did some analysis of data of investment, direct investment expansion in country in Ogun State, as of this morning, I think we were getting about $600 million already here. Now, I'm sure by the time we tally everything up, I told him, we'll most likely hit $1 billion of investment available in country by the CEO sitting here now in Ogun State. So, giving figures, sat beside the governor here, is $135 million of investment in cocoa cake, cocoa powder processing investment that's been approved and supported by both AFRI, Exim, the Chartered, and the rest of the banking industry in Nigeria. And the land has been acquired, project is starting. It's $135 million of cashew and cocoa opposite International Trade Center. And that's an investment. That's $135 million coming on the table in Ogun State this year. It's already started. They've awarded the contracts, so I know because I drove them here.
We moved to Ogun State around 6 years ago, storing our products here, and now we decided to build our processing plant here in Shagamu, our cocoa processing plant, our cashew processing plant, and our roofing business manufacturing plant. These three projects, they are costing around $200 million. We decided to site it here because Ogun State for us is very good because it's not congested and it's central to where all our trucks can come to. We don't have congestion issues and we can always go to the jetty and the terminal from Ogun State easily. We thank the government for making it easy for us to do. And the most important thing I would want to talk about, the problem we are facing is we've acquired over 200 acres of land and we pay so much in terms of assessment and statutory fees. But we understand the government must generate income to develop the state. But for me, I always believe credit is the key to unlocking any prosperity. So for people like us, all we build is God's grace and credit. So we would want the government to also extend a bit of credit to us when we are paying the statutory fees.
Basically, a greater percentage of our industry, they are located about 13 industries out of our 22 industries of the African group are located in Ogun State. And over a period of the last 4 years, we have invested over $1 billion into the country. We are the only people operating steel and coal mines and producing the DRI in the country. Basically, in Ogun State, we are in Atbara, Ota, Ogijo, Adekota, and Papa of Axis. So I will just summarize our main problem. Since I'm in Atbara State, I will talk about the group in general, but in Atbara State, I will take out what are the problems we are facing. Number one, some of which is in the control of the state government, I will enumerate first. And the balance, as our chairman of the man has already told some briefly, I will express with the policy advocacy, I will brief it later. Number one is the highway expressway. We are grateful to His Excellency to start the Atan-Badagi expressway, but to his kind sir, last year the work was going on very speedily, but as of today the work has stopped and we are facing a lot of problems in bringing material from the port and taking it back from the customer. We use roughly about double the cost and even the customers are shying away in coming to our park.
From our experience on this project, we are looking at expanding our business in various other fields, and definitely Ogun State is one of the major contenders to attract that investment. Right now, we have invested about $30 million and we intend to expand our business and invest more. So once again, as there's repeated request to keep it brief, thank you so much for the opportunity and looking forward to Ogun State becoming more friendly to investors and removing all the hurdles that my co-investors here have expressed. I don't want to add to that list with the positive, expectation that the investment environment within Ogun State will become more friendly and bring in more investment to the success of Ogun State.
We've been manufacturing in Ogun State since 1982. I will be very brief. In the last 2 years, we have invested around $40 million US. We continue to invest. We are not only manufacturing everything that we sell in Nigeria, close to 90% of products are manufactured in Nigeria, but we're also exporting from Nigeria to half a dozen countries. We're also expecting our global board and the global CEO will state in February next year. And His Excellency, I would like to invite you when that happens. It will be a good opportunity to get more investment in this country and make Nigeria a powerhouse. My only request, I think some of the speakers have highlighted, there is an issue on infrastructure, so I will not talk about a lot of issues, but just one, which is Lusada and Matan Road, and also the internal streets.
At the meeting, a lot of issues bordering on the economic prosperity of the state were deliberated upon. Just rights caught up with some of the CEOs and they bore their minds on the outcome of the meeting.
Very important to give the governor an opportunity to hear directly from investors, to understand their pain points, what has the government done right and what are the issues. Most importantly, what are their expansion plans and how best can we invest, support them, and the state government as a whole. And many have come forward, many CEOs have come forward to talk about, their experience doing business in Ogun State, their expectations, their expansion plans, and how best Ogun Invest can support them.
We listen to what the governor said. It's one, a recommitment to the industry, a recommitment to trade, a recommitment to progress of Ogun State. I think Ogun State has the foundation as being the capital of industry, but we need to improve the enabling factors. And the government is open for business. The business industry as a whole is open for business. It's now how do you collaborate, enable, increase investment, increase domestic direct investment, which is localized. Now we have so many industries within Ogun State. How could we make them improve, expand, do a lot more? And that's a major difference. And I think what we've seen today is the government of Ogun State interested in making ease of doing business not a thing of something on paper, but a practicalized solution to the enabling factors of business increasing in this state and creating job opportunities, creating sustainability, and making the state a proud state for Nigeria.
I think it's a very good initiative. It's a very good meeting because listening to the governor and the candid conversations the governor was having with most of the CEOs, I think that is actually what it should be, because from most of the conversations it's quite clear that there are some infrastructural needs, there are some opportunities again. The governor made some promises, very valid promises, okay, and then we as bank, Fidelity Bank, we've always been supporting Ogun State government. Okay, there are some projects we have, there are some infrastructural support that we've been rendering to the government, and we are working with the state very closely to make sure that these things come to life.
This meeting is a novel one. It's one of the best meetings I've ever attended since we located our factory in Ogun State. Having face-to-face with the governor and rubbing minds with all the private investors in Ogun State is a very noble one, and it's a noble one to continue. What we are taking home today is to see that Ogun State is ready for business and the enabling environment is there, and also to take Ogun State to the next level. As I've said, if I have to come back to this word again, we always want to invest in Ogun State. It's a very peaceful environment, and all the investment we have in Ogun State are thriving, and we have no harassment, no disturbance, and so on. And the personal nature and the contact that Ogun State has put into every investor. You have direct contact. If you have any issue, you can easily contact any of them, and they are always there. And I'm very happy to be part of Ogun State investor.
His Excellency was able to hear the variety of challenges that the private sector are facing in Ogun State, and he also had the opportunity to inform them of what the government is doing to address all of these challenges, and he did more than the areas they have emphasized. There's a lot of talk around the infrastructure that the government is putting in place, including the airport, rail transportation, tripod and seaport. So I think they were very satisfied. All is pleased that the government of State of Dapo Abiodun is well on top of the private sector interests and demands within our state.
Without any doubt, Ogun State is moving closer to becoming an industrial hub and haven for investors. The meeting of the state governor with the organized private sector operating in the state would in no time yield results, as the government is more resolute to address their needs, meet their yearnings, and develop a synergy that will bring about a stronger collaboration between them with more enablers added. This would in turn woo more investors into the state and translate the state into the investment destination of choice in the Committee of States in Nigeria. Ìgbéga ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn, àjọṣe gbogbo wa ni.